Okay, update. Nearly in the end of today now. It's 11:30. Could go for a 1 o'clocker, but I think we're doing all right. So stripped all that off, as you know. Cleaned up the bulkhead edge where it touches the dash. We're not picking the dash off. I don't want to lose the structure across the car, so I'm making a cut just underneath this lip, and we're going to double skin that one. So you'll have one bulkhead sat on top of the old bulkhead, but that's not a problem. I'm happy with that compromise. Yeah, we've made one cut across there. We've separated off the radio support bracket, which was attached to the back of the bulkhead. It's that rotten along that top edge, it's probably just going to fall off, so we're going to make a cut down the middle and lift that bulkhead section out, and then start cleaning up that top floor edge. Then we'll be making a cut and using this nice clean edge here. Clean that up. It's a nice, really good run on that one there. No need to have to repair the floor, so we can cut along here, take that nice piece out. Look at it, we'll take it to there, down, take that out using this line there. So a cut from the middle across, takes that line, takes that whole piece out. That whole piece then comes out, travel across over here. Again, we'll strip this back, clean it, drop those spot welds, make the cut across there, all the way across. That floor comes out, top of the bulkhead will come out, then in goes your floor pan. Stacked on top of that goes the bulkhead, and reattaches to there. That's the name of the game. One thing to consider when we do that is we've got to split off the chassis welds. There's some welds here onto your front chassis leg, so that's going to be a difficulty when we take that big piece out. I'll have a look at it close. I might just take the top edge of the floor pan out so that I don't have to mess with that chassis section. That's something I'm going to look at. This is a look at the structure and how it would affect the car. I'm not quite sure how all that will tie together, whether when I suddenly pull that off something's going to sort of split and drop, but we're getting there. It's going to look probably the scariest it's ever looked when this piece comes out, but as soon as you get the old piece back in, it'll all start looking right again. So we're heading probably towards the scariest part in terms of the looks of the car, because virtually a massive chunk's going to be ripped out of this front. It's going to look pretty scary. So are you ready for it? Here we go. January 17th 2012. I've fitted a 1mm cutting disc to the angle grinder. I'm going to make a bulkhead cut now. We're going to remove the rusty part of the bulkhead, take it off the orange car, get that good piece off the orange car. That'll give us a good edge for the bulkhead to sit on, and it'll give us a good edge for the A panel to butt up to where the wheel housing is. So here we go, we're cutting in now. I'm going to take the piece out. got to take it off the front cross member. There'll be a little bit of tension. I'm now going to support the car with a jack so that there's no distortion. You're going to get a little bit of movement there. We've got to try and keep that solid. Okay, let's get some support on this now. Alright, we're just getting ready to take this bulkhead out. Well, it's the lower part of the bulkhead, this. Taking out those spots there. So that's started to come off now. There's not much holding it in. It's come off quite neat. I've just got to free it up along the top edge now. There, we'll make a nice clean removal. That'll expose your inner. There you go. There's your inner chassis, looking nice. Can you see that inner chassis leg? I thought it'd be rotten. It's actually not. Anyway, so there we are with that inner chassis leg. We'll be attaching a new one then when we do the front end rebuild. So we'll do the same on the other car and take the same piece out, and then I want to get this in quickly, so we're going to be doing our usual weld across there, and then I'll just put a couple of tacks onto the chassis because that's coming off at a later date, but well, support it for now, and then make a cut there on the orange one. The rest of the metal is good enough to keep. Okay, so we're not rotten there, we'll keep that. So we're ready. Let's get this off. Looks worse than it is, or is it? Gotta love you, man. Gotta understand. Gotta understand. Into this night we're born. To this night we're born. Into this night we're born. Riders on the street. Gotta love you, man. Riders on the storm. To this night we're born. To this night we're born. Gotta love you, man. Riders on the storm. I understand. Now we know there's a lot of what spot welds on this. There's loads of them. So it's pot lock because they're all knackered. Pot lock. I'll take some guidance off the other. There's a row and then a row. This is just pure pot lock, baby. You can see one there. Alright, so we clean that face up, taking that piece out. That piece of lower bulkhead's out. So we're now gonna get the piece straight in. We're not gonna mess with this. We're gonna get that bulkhead straight in. So that means panning across to here and getting that section out over there. That's the next job. Get the light on it. By tonight we could have that grafted in if all goes to plan. Let's see what we can do. Okay, let's get that on. So we've got it off. Let's see what we can do over here now. I don't think we need that car now. I think it's got all its bits off it. I think it can go outside. So now for the fun bit, I'll move the camera back round to this angle. I've got to say this is quite scary. Hoping it's all going to work. I don't see why not. Let's all have a little look. This is me cutting down. I've just done. I've overcut the size. The usual idea where you lay it over and get your final dimension. You see. Okay, so here we are with the replacement lower bulkhead section being clamped into position to see how it fits, and it's all lining up okay. So that piece fits in there like that, and we can see that our lines are starting to take shape now. Your edge of your floor is coming in flush with the edge of this, so that A panel, when the A panel is offered up, the A post, it's going to sit onto the edge of that, catch the sill there. We're not connecting the inner wings because the inner wings are coming off as the final stage of the car. The engine and gearbox will come out and the front end's being completely removed. There will be no front end on the car, but what you'll have is a completely reconstructed bulkhead and sills, so you'll have all that front end will be solid, which then means you can take the front end of the car off without worrying about the car falling to bits, because you'll have built a solid structure all the way back. That's the final job in probably maybe 6 months time perhaps. We might be into the summer and I'm going into a break for the summer, so we'll see how far we get for this winter. I'm heading for March is when the work will slow down on this car, so I'm hoping to have broken the back of most of it, if not the back of the car. No, let's not put that joke in, that's rubbish. Let's stick to what we're doing. So I've done the overcut piece and then sprayed over the sides, and then now I'm just trimming out the final half-inch piece of metal to make the flush fit. I'm not going to do an overlap joint, I'm going to do a butt joint there. Okay, so just taking out 2 spot welds, take on the chassis led there, and then we're out. All right, I've put the sill on there. Look, I've built that up. We've checked all the alignments along the edge of the floor pan that we put in earlier on, and so that the inner sill now comes and should meet exactly with the bulkhead, which it does. It hits it exactly bang on the money. So that we know that the bulkhead, lower bulkhead piece is in the correct positions. Everything's lining up. All the alignment points are right there, and everything else. There's a little bit of trimming to do just to make those two faces go flush. We're flush everywhere else. We've got our 1mm to 2mm weld line here. I'm hoping I can fill that in with a weld. Okay. We're overlapping the jacking point so we can attach that. That locks the two pieces together. Obviously the jacking point needs some work, but that's a separate job. Main thing's to get this place the strength back in. Our front chassis leg points line up. We're not going to attach it to the front chassis because that's coming off, so we'll leave that piece unwelded. Just that overlap there. We're okay at the top, just lost it a little bit here. I'll get some clamps on, repaint it, and we'll see. There'll just be a little bit to angle grind down, so that'll just flap in flush just there. We'll lose it about here, we're losing it about there. It's just drifting out a touch, but that's just the angle grinder cut. So let's get that ready for the nice seam weld all the way up there. So that's the bulkhead repaired, lower bulkhead repaired. Once that's in position, we won't be attaching this because that's that wing. We'll fix a little bit of a rust hole on it there. Then we've got to clean the front of this windscreen up, and we're then got to get that bulkhead upper half grafted in. That'll be tomorrow's job to get that cut. Well, tomorrow's job will be to weld this in and then get that cut. That should see that back. So 2 nights isn't bad to do that. 2-3 nights I think, and I'll be okay there. Should be all back in. I think that's it for tonight. So we're signing off now. That's bulkhead repair, signing off. Here we are, and time goes fast. It's another day. It's only seems like last night since it was last night. Oh, it was, right, okay. The date, I think, is the 18th of January 2012. We are ready to weld the replacement bulkhead panel back into the front of the car. I've put some tacks in just for now. I'm going to put a couple more tacks in. I'm flipping the screen around to make sure I don't obscure the view, so that the viewer can get up close and personal to the job. All YouTube viewers who are sending in your remarks, we thank you very much. We're getting plenty of support on YouTube, plenty of support and encouragement, which is what we need in the dark times. Okay, so if we are lined up, then we shall begin. The screen will now flip. You'll see me put a couple of tacks in. Then there's a little bit of reshaping to do on the butt join. This is just where the panel is slightly oversized. It's just to do with the way it was cut yesterday when I was cutting it in. I didn't quite get the cut. It's basically slightly over by a couple of mil. So we'll get the angle grinder blade and run it in once we've got some tacks just to secure it in position. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Before I go on, actually, I'm going to support underneath the car so we don't get any flex. Hold on. I'm going to support underneath the car. Just going to take a little bit of pressure off that jacking point, so when I get in the car, I'm not sagging it down in that corner. Just going to judge this carefully. Yeah, I was looking for a lift. You notice that as I do that, it takes the whole car with it. Transmission tool rather than just bending, so we know we've got those tacks are okay. So we're locked on there. Just gotta watch this sill. This sill here is just clipped in with the clips to get, just so to get me relative position. Now we can see the floor pan's solid, so I can climb in. I'm not going to flex this floor pan. So here we have the area. Here's the lamps coming in now. Okay. Are you ready? Okay, we've got a couple of tacks in there. I'm going to pause the video while I set it up because you're going to have a lot of just pausing there. So I'll set it up for some more welds and then resume in a minute. Yes, so got a little repair piece to do there, but we're going to get this bulkhead in and cut to shape. That's going to be tonight's fun job, to cut that to shape. I'll be very happy when that goes in. Let's see how we get on with that. I'll switch off and we'll resume filming shortly. You'll be getting an update on this, but as you can see from everything, it all fits in. You can see how it's all going to come together. There we are. There's your outer sill, there's your inner sill. There's your edge to attach, which is the lower bulkhead. There's the upper part of the bulkhead, there's the upper bulkhead. Okay, so you see how that comes together. Remember that nasty bead post, but that's just a very easy repair. We're doing our usual cut and shut speciality across there, and keeping the internal structure, but reskinning the bottom half of that. Not a problem. I've got that boot floor to fit. And then we're just going to spend a couple of days on this back end here, and then that'll see that area all solid. There'll be some dressing to do on it, but it will all be solid. All the rust will have been banished from that area. Bulkhead should be nice and solid then. 8 posts and doors. You could actually put a door back on and fit it and test the alignment, make sure everything's looking solid, and test the structure at that end. Probably do that once I've got the sill on. So I'm going to get the sills on. Obviously, do the bulkhead, then get the sills on. And I'll probably be very tempted to pop a door on it and just have a little clunk click with the door just to see how it fits. And then once I've done all that and that's all tidied up, I'll put a little bit of, I'll dress all the welds, I'll do some seam sealing and painting, a bit more Q rusting, and then I'll be looking at, not sure about putting the dash back. Oh no, because I've got to repair the dash and paint the dash. So might head towards the back end, don't know, or I might just concentrate on getting this front end absolutely mint. So we'll see what we do. Got 2 chassis rails to replace as well, that's another mission. But so far so good, so yeah, I'll resume in maybe half an hour or so when I've got that bulkhead cut. Whack it on the old fat coil top there, so you go. Now, see how that gives you your cut line. Now, get the right profile from this piece across there. So just here, before the mounting bolt there, if you can see that, we're rocking in the rolling there. So we're going to get that to fit right snugly. See, this shape is going to be, we're going to set that right in. That's where you are, you see. Get that in there, and that should cut me old matey. Oh, that this side actually. So we clamp that down now. This has got to be laser precision right. We can't mess about with this. It has got to be right. We're going to get that. Let's. Oh, the radio! Alright, so we want to make sure we get the best that we can to minimise the butt weld problems when you don't want wavering gaps that you've got to try and get the weld to fit into. How do we know how to cut the bulkhead to the right shape? Well, let's just get you zoomed in to the old area. Here's the piece we took out. Okay, that was originally there. So when I took it out, I've cut it there, so that's what's left on the car at the moment. So rather than try and drop this whole thing on top with all those fittings underneath, luckily on the edge of this piece there isn't anything. It's a clean run. There's a little tab there, I'll break that off. Hold on, there goes my hat. Hang on, because I need that to stop my hair burning with the sparks. Take that away. Luckily we've got a nice shape here which we can lock on to the bulkhead shape there. We know now when that's, you feel that it'll just sit in the right place where it's very happy. There, it's very happy there. So I know now, as long as I follow this down, there's a bolt we have to remove here. We'll have to repair this. There's a hole in the bulkhead here. All bulkheads are created equal, but some are more rusty than others. So that fits in like that. That will go down there. We're following it down, and then we will then mark that. Probably use a pen. Okay, and then that is cut. That is how it came off the car. So really what I want to do, I want to have the angle grinder blade right against the edge of that, because that would simulate the 1mm gap that we need for the butt weld, about a 1mm gap. So let's prepare this up now and get that painted and marked, or mark a pen or paint it, depends if I spray it or not. Okay, let's just clean that up ready. Okay, I've cut that piece off, made it nice and smooth on the back. There was any little bits and bobs on the back. I've clamped it into position there, as you can see. So we're now, let's get into shot. Hang on while I flip the screen. Okay, we'll just do this bit like that. Nope, quite like that, is it? It's a bit like this. That's the one. Now we're in shot. Okay, so what have we done? We've hold this up for you so you can see it. Okay, so right, cut that piece off there so you get the template. That's where originally the car was cut. Yeah, and I've now cut this off so I can get an easy manageable piece to overlap. I could have overlapped the entire bulkhead, but look, there's tags in the way, there's tags underneath that, the old fuse box and stuff. So just the last piece, this is the profiles there, so if we clamp that against the bulkhead, in theory that's where I made the cut. So I'm going to paint that now, then I run the angle grinder and chop this off. The only thing I'm not 100% sure of is where I put the angle grinder blade. That's the critical thing, because that's the cut. I don't know whether I should run the angle grinder blade on while this is still connected or not. I just don't quite know. I'm going to err on the side of caution and go over, then I can always grind it in and keep keep manoeuvring until the bulkhead drops into place. So that's it really. So what we do, get the old magic paint and we paint it in like this, making sure the panel is touching, otherwise the paint will creep under. Obviously, as you know, we can work out from that you're going to get uneven marks. So I'm going to pull that down and do this clamp, get it back on tight. It's not quite tight. Got it now. It's right into there. Okay, so there. And then one more area to pull it in, it's just drifted out that's going from there. Across. Okay, clamp that. Take an average reading from it. Hopefully that's going to be it. So release, release, and release. And that is your cut mark. I'm hoping that's going to work.